Eso. Eso. Venga. Cinco.
Just the next day after Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather linked up to train together, Canelo Alvarez, not wanting to be left out, also shared training footage. Expectedly, it sparked countless responses from boxing fans and professionals. While many of them addressed Canelo's size and cheered him on for a win on fight night, Terence Crawford instead gave a stunning message to his naysayers.
Both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody.
Shortly before this, Terence Crawford opened up about his approach and mentality ahead of a possible fight with Canelo Alvarez. The fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is quickly becoming one of the most anticipated matchups in boxing history. The distinct fighting styles, contrasting personalities, and legacies on the line, this showdown promises to define an entire era in the sport. Crawford, celebrated for his technical precision, has established himself as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. His victory over Errol Spence Jr. solidified his dominance as the undisputed welterweight champion, but jumping to weight classes to face Canelo represents a massive challenge, a real test of his abilities and adaptability. On the other side, Canelo Alvarez, the face of Mexican boxing, has been a dominant force across various weight classes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Eso.
Known for his power and ability to shift to any opponent, Canelo brings a wealth of experience that makes him a dangerous foe for anyone in the ring. Stepping up to face a fighter of Canelo's size means dealing with a bigger, stronger opponent.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us.
Great fighters test themselves no matter what the odds. Crawford said in a recent interview that, according to Mark, Canelo gets a natural advantage in size, reach, and weight, which could make things tricky for the lighter Crawford. Additionally, Canelo is a strong puncher, and Crawford will need to find a way to neutralize that power. It's about testing yourself. Crawford explained, "I've met tough opponents before, but Canelo is one of the greatest. This is my chance to show I belong at the top." Despite the obvious challenges, Crawford holds several advantages. His lightning-fast reflexes, technical boxing skills, and the ability to change during a fight could be crucial in neutralizing Canelo's power. Crawford's boxing IQ is his best asset. His ability to adjust and learn from every round is a key strength in this battle.
To come our way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know.
Predicting the winner of this clash is no easy job. Both fighters possess the skills and experience to claim victory. However, several factors, such as Crawford's agility and Canelo's brute strength, could tilt the scale in favor of either boxer. Regardless of the outcome, this fight will mark an important milestone in boxing history. Both Crawford and Canelo have already etched their names in the sports annals, and this fight will only cement their legacies. Former four-division title holder Garcia said he disapproves of a possible super middleweight clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford.
Right, there are too many weight classes apart, and although the skills, Crawford is one.
Crawford, who gritted out a win over Israel Madrimov last August to earn a 154-pound title, has expressed interest in moving up to divisions to face Alvarez, who would represent the most important opponent and payday yet for Crawford. Garcia recently told Fight Hub TV that his path crossed with Crawford's at last December's World Boxing Council convention in Hamburg, Germany, where he lauded him on all his successes to date. "Crawford is one of the best boxers that I've seen," Garcia said.
Is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now,
I told him, "Dude, you're a badass. You've been a badass. You don't always get the credit because of politics in boxing and favoritism here and there, but he truly does have the skills. He's a great boxer, and he's proven it multiple times." Obviously still, Garcia questions how Crawford, who fought early in his career at lightweight, would deal with Alvarez, 168, where Canelo unified the class and has yet to lose a fight. Alvarez has met the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith, Jermel Charlo and Jaime Munguia, among others, at 168, which currently makes him the most experienced fighter in the class. Where do you plan on going? 164, 165, or 166? Garcia asked.
Where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down.
Canelo isn't going to come down to 160, maybe 166 maximum. If he accepts, I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size and power. Now, skills-wise, I think Crawford is a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. Garcia said Crawford, a 37-year-old from Omaha, Nebraska, has accomplished all that he can in for divisions between 135 and 150 and acknowledges the financial lure of a Canelo fight for Crawford, who has never faced a marquee opponent, but he called on both Alvarez and Crawford to consider taking different career paths rather than facing each other.
You know, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size.
As a fight fan, I'd rather see Canelo move up and face somebody like Artur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol. Garcia said if he wanted to test himself, then he should move up to 175 and challenge himself against those guys, not a smaller guy moving up. And the same thing with Crawford. He doesn't need to fight Canelo. He can just fight other guys at 150 as his fight with Canelo Alvarez gets closer and becomes more realistic. More and more boxing pros are doing everything in their power to stop the fight. They feel it's a dumb idea for Crawford to search for trouble that was never his and fight a battle that was out of bounds. Well, like other times, they can only hope he listens to them, as the former undisputed world welterweight champion is ready to give it all it takes and challenge himself to become one of boxing's best fighters in this generation.
Pay-per-view to watch it.
Is the skill level of Crawford equalize the weight, in your opinion?
I think if they fought, they'd obviously be the same weight, would they not?
Yes.
So, yeah, so...
Maybe not the best person to advise Crawford right now after losing to a man who was about 50 pounds less than him a few weeks ago. However, Tyson Fury has some warnings for Terence Crawford. Speaking to TNT Sports Boxing for two-time world heavyweight champion, Fury agreed that weight was the deciding factor in the contest, giving Crawford a chance to beat Canelo had they met years ago in a lower division, backing the Mexican at super middleweight, where the contest will absolutely take place should it happen. Here we have Terence Crawford versus Alvarez. Very tough fight, different weight categories. Away would this fight happen? I don't know. At 168 IMG to say Canelo, at 140 IMG and A say Crawford, so I'll go with Canelo.
So Crawford going from 47 to 68.
Maybe he would bring Canelo down to 60 or 54 or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a favorite?
Canelo has absolutely ruled out dropping any weight, and that is in line with Bud's goal of testing himself to the limit by moving all the way up to 168, 14 pounds more than his last outing. Whether or not the fight can be made remains to be seen, with the American much more keen, but the Mexican saying that he will take it for the right price. The jarring weight disparity has become a point of contention in the boxing community, and Mike Tyson shares this opinion.
Who knows? That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no? Just saying, man. We can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that it is.
Israel Madrimov, because he was big and really awkward, shouldn't have even fought that guy. Tyson makes a fair point. Crawford had one of his toughest fights to date against Madrimov, who was undefeated prior to their meeting, despite being 58 Lisa, which is taller than Canelo. Crawford has a wiry frame and would probably forfeit mass as strength to fight in heavier weight divisions. Still, Crawford thinks he knows what's best for his body.
Terence Crawford calling out Canelo.
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight.
I think the key is to know when's the right time for your body to move up the good way. Crawford told Yahoo Sports before facing Madrimov, "I moved up in weight because I wanted to fight the best guy in the division. Nobody can trump the ambition of a professional fighter, and Crawford might have his chance to shoot for all-time fame against Canelo. Soon the weight disparity will only serve to cement his reputation with a victory." Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, claims a fight is planned to hold around Canelo Alvarez's two favorite fighting seasons of the year, the Cinco de Mayo weekend or the Mexican Independence Day.
54 pounds. When you look at that fight, what is in your mind if you think about the concept of him fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds?
According to Crawford's trainer, Plans are already ongoing to ensure the fight is held around the Cinco de Mayo celebration time. Turki Alalshik and the parties involved have begun making efforts to ensure the fight comes to fruition and both fighters at their huge salaries and make the biggest fight boxing fans want to see. Brian McIntyre has led Terence Crawford to world titles in four weight divisions, and he'll be hoping he can lead him in a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Brian "Bomac" McIntyre is a busy man. He's already focused on the exciting event that's set to take place tomorrow at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas's Chelsea Ballroom. Longtime pupil Steven Nelson will face Thiago Paca, and then next month on Valentine's Day, rising star Keyshawn Davis will put his training to the test against Denis Berinchyk. However, many fans might have guessed correctly. Deep down, the 2023 Trainer of the Year recipient has only one fight on his mind. Although still unconfirmed, his standout protege Terence Crawford could possibly face Canelo Alvarez by September.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or no.
As expected, the talk of this once-in-a-lifetime fight has sparked a frenzy of speculation and rumors. One of the most frequent topics of discussion remains the rehydration clause. A rehydration clause is a rule that says you can't be much bigger when we fight. You have to stay close to what you weighed in today. The worries likely stem from the significant weight difference between Crawford and Alvarez. Before moving up to 154 pounds, the Nebraska southpaw was almost 3 weight classes lighter than Alvarez, but Bomac, being Bomac, dismissed the idea completely. Ring Magazine's Ricky Fakti recently caught up with Bomac at a Las Vegas gym. I heard there were rumors, people talking that you guys don't want a rehydration clause in the event that the fight does happen. Do you guys not want one? Asks Floyd McIntyre shared that he doesn't care how much weight the opponent gains after the weigh-in. If the opponent gains too much weight and becomes sluggish or negatively affected by being too big, then that's the opponent's problem, not his or Crawford's. I don't give a damn about that, it only gets so big. It gets too big, then that's on him, responded Terence Crawford's longtime trainer. The reporter pressed on, asking if Bomac still thought Crawford could win the fight without a weight limit for rehydration. Bomac expressed full confidence in Crawford's ability to win the fight regardless of the weight problem. However, Sudi had some doubts because, in the past, most guys, when they're fighting bigger guys like that, that's going to be the first thing that they want. He asked Brian McIntyre. He responded, "That's some nonsense." According to Bomac, the entire idea of a rehydration clause is nonsensical. He finds it ridiculous when people say, "Oh, you can't come in this much stuff." In his view, once the official weight is made, it's up to the individual how they handle their weight afterward. You accepted the fight, so let's just get in the ring and fight like real fighters. Bomac McIntyre concluded.
Everybody that he fought was a no-name, but I'm gonna tell you like this, what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him, so obviously he's doing a great job.
And this is a possible task for Crawford because of his pound-for-pound abilities. And apparently no rehydration clause, am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke.
Perhaps the situation became confusing after the Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis fight, which is where the term rehydration clause gained wider attention. However, it's about time for clear thoughts and communication on this issue to avoid any further confusion. For context, a few days ago Mike Coppinger made it clear no official contracts have been signed yet. However, there's a strong possibility that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford could meet during Mexican Independence Day weekend in September if everything is finalized. And as Crawford said all along, it would take place at 168 pounds with no rehydration clause. ESPN's boxing insider Crawford defeated Israel Madrimov to become ruler at 154 pounds, and he's now eyeing a fight against the Mexican icon. Crawford has accomplished many big things in boxing, but victory over Canelo would be his biggest accomplishment. The super middleweight world champion has only felt defeat twice against Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather, and it's the Bivol battle that McIntyre will be studying if a fight between Crawford and Canelo takes place. He made him move his feet. If the fight ever materializes, that's the fight that I would go back and watch, said McIntyre regarding Canelo versus Bivol when chatting on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel. I look at Mayweather versus Canelo too. WBN thinks that Crawford's name is on a shortlist for the Mexican superstar after months of media coverage of the clash. Crawford has shown persistence in pursuing the matchup, ready to move up to weight classes to prove his dominance. Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, admitting that size will play a crucial role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Some analysts have expressed skepticism about Crawford's ability to compete successfully at super middleweight. This stems in part from his most recent fight, a points victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant display many expected.
Hard for boxing fans. They know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Vince. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got it over with now, or are we still waiting for that second fight to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to got to work things out and see where they go from there.
Regardless of these concerns, the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford has captivated the imagination of boxing fans. The blend of power, speed, skill, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo Alvarez has established a tradition of having two fights a year, May and September, the latter on the weekend that celebrates Mexico's independence since 2020. He has scheduled his fights in these 2 months, and it is expected that he will do so again, so it is more intriguing who will be his next opponent due to the lack of interest in accepting the challenge of David Benavidez, the mandatory World Boxing Council 168-pound challenger. Terence Crawford looks like a strong option for Saul Alvarez and his first fight of the year, although it seems that the fight is more media than competitive as Crawford fights at 154 pounds, the super welterweight, to categories below that of the Guadalajara native. However, both Crawford and Alalshik Turkey Alalshik are trying to convince Alvarez to accept the fight, for which he was asking for $150 million, given how unconvincing the fight against Terence Crawford could be in sporting terms and the evasiveness against Benavidez today. 175-pound Saul Alvarez could have other interesting choices too. Open 2025 in the ring. Another name that has been suggested for Canelo is Christian Billy, a 29-year-old Frenchman with an undefeated 28-0 record who, in his last fight, defeated Sergey Derevyanenko in August and would be a contender for the World Boxing Council. The last time Crawford was in action was back in August, when he made his 154 pounds debut to face WBA super welterweight champion Israel Madrimov.
So, I think this Canelo will win.
How? Potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. How do you see that fight? Who do you like?
Terence.
Wow.
Friend, but it's crazy, man. Listen, I say.
It was a hard-fought battle with Bud probably pushed harder than he ever has done in his career so far, but in the end he managed to claim the unanimous decision victory to win the title and become a four-weight world champion in the process. Having experienced personally what it is like to face Crawford, Madrimov has now given his prediction while speaking to Boxing News and didn't hesitate to pick a winner. It's a very different weight class. Canelo will win. I think about the decision. Madrimov himself returns to action next month when he looks to bounce back from the defeat to Bud, when he challenges Virgil Ortiz Jr. for the World Boxing Council interim super welterweight title. The Uzbekistan fighter isn't the only man to make a bold prediction for the matchup between Crawford and Canelo, with former two-weight world champion Tim Bradley declaring that one man is going to beat the brakes off the other. However, Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion, through his support behind Terence Crawford in a highly anticipated potential bout against Saul Canelo Alvarez, which could take place at the end of this year or in early 2025. In a talk with 3KR podcast, Usyk highlighted Crawford's bold move to jump up 3 weight classes to face Canelo, but also pointed out Crawford's exceptional intelligence and versatility in the ring. Terence is my friend, but he's a crazy man, Usyk said. I say Terence wins. Listen, Terence is a different man. Terence works into stances. He's a very, very smart man. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay linked with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.